Okay.
Saw a bird flew down this morning, as if he's saying something to me. Something to sitting on the limb of the tree. Giving me the sound of sweet melody. I guess he's trying to tell me something. Something that I should know.
I need to know how wide what's being picked up here. Because you want to put on this monitor, right?
A new wind that's gonna blow. It's a rain of the heathen coming down on my people, taking the goodness of life and rendering them evil. You see the mission that they gave you.
All this.
Just to deceive you.
That's how wide it is.
Yeah, good.
The cover's coming up now.
Yeah, man.
Somehow I know things have got to change. Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged.
Somehow things have got to change. Shalom Shabbat. Today we're having our Shalom Shabbat program. And we're coming to you live on Reggae to Reggae radio and TV. You can find us on your dial on your internet actually, at reggae2reggae.com. And once you patch in there or you log in there, then you will see what's going on live. We've got the live stream on one side, and if you want to see any of the past programs, then you just go over to the window on the left, scroll down, and there will be chats, videos, and something else. But just click on videos and you'll get a list of all the videos that have been broadcasts in the past. That's our archives, right? So you can just click on it and get whatever program you want. But today it is Shalom Shabbat. And all we're going to be doing is just looking at an introduction to what is Shabbat and what is Shalom. And you will, at the end of this program, you will be just so excited and you'll look forward to your Shabbat celebrations, because that's what it is. This is my favorite day of the week. And I am not promoting Saturday worship. I'm not promoting Sunday worship. I am promoting every day, every moment of the day worship. If you want to experience the abundant life, a life of abundance, abundant health, abundant wealth, abundant peace, abundant love, and abundant joy, then you have to be able to embrace and celebrate every single day and every single moment of every single day. And I'm telling you, my favorite day is Shabbat. We call it Saturday in some cultures, but I am going to be pulling from the Jewish culture today, and I'm expecting a guest actually to come in to blow her shofar for us so we can hear the sound of the ram's horn that gets us ready for battle, gets us ready for whatever we need. And so we're going to be looking at the essence of Shabbat and looking at the essence of Shalom. Shabbat, and some people call it the Sabbath, but when I studied in Israel, I was told that this is how they pronounce it. And also, you know, the pronunciation of these biblical words is a little bit different when you go into their culture. But guess what? In my culture, it's Sabbath. But today I'm going to be doing the Jewish thing. All right? Shabbat, Sabbath. Where did it come from? Remember yesterday we were talking about our Creator? The fact that our Creator is the one who made this whole Shabbat and gave it its importance in the first place, right? And it said that on Monday, he created X. On Tuesday, he created Y. On Wednesday, he created Z. And then on Thursday, he created C. On Friday, he created B. And on Saturday, it was the best day. It was the A day when he rested. And we need to understand the concept of active rest, right? It's one where you just repose, you just lay back, and you just allow your spirit to take over and take control. And you know, when you get it into the habit of doing that, then you learn to be able to interpose and extrapolate this information and carry it into every day of your life. So my Shabbat is not just only my rest day, but it's a day when I regenerate, when I reflect, when I bring everything that I do and everything that I am into the worship experience of my Creator, who has given me everything I need for life and for godliness. He just daily loads me with benefits. He runs me down with goodness and mercy. Oh my goodness, how can I contain it? But let's get back to Shabbat. You know, I have some special people to say Shalom Shabbat to. And I was just talking to my girlfriend, Audrey Wilson. Hi, Audrey. Shalom Shabbat to you and your wonderful hubby, who doesn't want to come into the limelight, so I won't call his name. I just call him wonderful hubby of Audrey. And Audrey is the person who produces the best oil in the world. It is not coconut oil, the best coconut oil I produce, but the best castor oil. It is under the label EYL, EYL. So you want best Jamaican coconut. I am castor oil in the world. That's where you're going to get it. So Shalom Shabbat, Audrey. And then I want to say Shalom Shabbat to all my soulmates, past, present, and future. Because their interaction with my soulmates is what keeps me going. It's what energizes me. So hi, Mr. R over there. And I want to say Shalom Shabbat to the persons who are coming on my future program. That is so important because we've got to get that organized and put together. My future programs, I'm going to be doing every Shabbat a Shabbat program, and every Sunday we're going to be doing a Sunday program. So the weekend is going to be very different, and I hope I will be able to get guests in for each of these programs. But I need to tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have our Sunday program, but we are going to also have a live streaming of our Culinary Academy. That is, Earl's Culinary Academy will be coming to you live from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Jamaica time. And by Jamaica time, I don't mean late. I mean the time that is going to be in Jamaica. Shalom Shabbat. Right? So tomorrow, and why I say Shalom Shabbat, I want to tell you the significance. Tomorrow is going to be the Lord's Day, as celebrated by the first century Christians. But during that time, they also went to Sabbath. And so that's why I celebrate both days. Let's just look at the history of Sabbath. How did it all originate? When I was telling you before, the creation story. We all know the creation story, right? About the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. But here we have God, our Creator, resting. You know what He did when He rested? he sort of just reposed, and then he looked at all the creation that happened for the last 7 days. And as he did that, he said, boy, this is good. You need to sit back on the Sabbath, whatever you want to call it, and you need to just look back on what happened over the last 6 days. How your creative forces were engaged in making you express the essence of God in your lifestyle. Now it is so hot in this place. All day, come and adjust the fan for me, please. Okay, thank you, Patrick. Right, I need to be getting it. I can't have a fan, I'm not getting it. All right, turn it. Oh, wonderful. Now put it towards me a little bit, please. Great. Yes. And you know what it is doing? Sweating up my outfit. I have to show you the outfit. But before I show you the outfit, I need my producer to come and just adjust this camera so that when I stand, my head don't get cut off. All right, so as we stand, we are going, you almost shut the window behind? No, all right. We are going to just get up, and I want to get the full outfit. Why am I showing you my outfit? This is the national costume of Israel, and these are their colors. Their colors are gold and blue. You think you're getting me? All right, my head not off. Oops. Wonderful. Right. And so I am dressed for the occasion. And I want you to know that our show yesterday was so exciting and interesting that I totally forgot to tell you about our designs on the show. They are all available from reggae.com and through celebrate.life.me. So I'm going to sit back down. Thank you very much, Mr. Producer. Right. Now my head don't not going to get cut off. You got me right back in angle and everything. Good. Right. So this is the national costume, Israel costume, and these are the national colors. And you know, one of the things that I always say is that Jamaicans, we are citizens of the world. We can put on a Chinese outfit. We can put on an Indian outfit. We can put on an African outfit. And of course, we can wear our Irish Jamaican outfits. And we are going to be featuring all of these outfits on the show because there is absolutely no place like Jamaica. You want variety? Jamaica. You want problems? Jamaica. But we know how to take the problems and say, no problem, man, because guess what? We are equal to any problem that comes up. And I want you Jamaicans all around the world and the other jam icons. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in another show because we have a program with a very, very, very special gentleman who is doing a series on jam icons. That is jam, ICONS. And we're going to be having a competition and we're going to be inviting you to write in about your icons who are Jamaicans. Because let me tell you something, every Jamaican is a star. Every Jamaican is an icon. And I don't want you people from outside of Jamaica to feel bad, you know, because that's the way you're supposed to feel about your own country as well. And you are supposed to develop the best in your country. I am supposed to develop the best in my country. And I'm supposed to be able to appreciate the best in my country. One of my activities over the last maybe 30, 40 years has been the collection of information about Jamaicans. Man in the street, they don't have to be able to read or write. It doesn't matter what economic, what social, what financial and economic is the same thing. All right, let me look at another. What educational, what intellectual, whatever challenges they have, it doesn't matter. We are all stars. Not just the Jamaicans. Every creation of God, because when God finished create man, he sat back and he says, this is good. And then he didn't stop there. He said, this is very good. And this is what we are celebrating on Celebrate Life. Because if we understand how we are wonderfully and marvelously made, then we will understand how we can self-heal. Our bodies are self-healing. And we have a patching that pull it out from inside, pull it out and let it heal us. So listen to me, stick with us. You get the best information from reggae2reggae.com through celebrate.life.me. So go onto my website and read up all the stuff there, pure free information. And then I have links on the site to patch you into other places. And remember that although Celebrate Life is one of the first programs to come on, we have plenty more coming in store. We're going to have a night talk show, chat, where, all through the night we can discuss issues that are of importance to us as Jamaicans and how we impact with, on the world. So lots of stuff coming up. And of course, the best reggae music in the world is available on reggae2reggae.com. Right. Now, getting back to the Shabbat. So here it is. God decided that he's going to repose and look at this wonderful creation. And the most significant thing about our being made in his image is the fact that we have creative forces inside of us. Where does it start? It starts as a concept in our minds. Our dreams and our visions are what God has placed inside of us to give us direction as to where we should go, what we should do. It is not our thoughts that give us direction or right direction, because the thoughts can come, bad thoughts can come, and good thoughts can come. But when we patch into the dreams and visions and the impossible things that come up into your mind, that is your direction. That is the reason that you are here. That is what God has put in there, because he's not going to put something in there that you can manage. He will always put something that is way above what you can manage. So when you get those impossible dreams and visions and you see yourself standing, you know what I used to see? I saw myself pirouetting on the top of a globe, that round thing that spin around? Right. I saw myself. I was probably about, I don't know, young. 4, 3, 5, 7, somewhere there. I was pirouetting in a tutu on top of a globe. And that to me meant dancing, ballerina-ring all around the world. At the time, I have to cut and give you the story. At the time, I had deformed feet. I had 4 ankles. You see that bulge below your ankle? I used to walk on all 4 of my ankles. And so every shoes my mother buy for me would get twisted up. You might have a child like that. Then you get a good shoes. And after them walk for 1 day or even 1 week on the shoes twist up so. Because the feet were not formed correctly. So my dear aunt and mother decided to send me to the chiropodist. When I got to the chiropodist now, or sometimes they call it chiropodist. That's the man who looks after the feet, right? The doctor, the specialist. He said, oh, she has no arches. The bones are in the wrong place, and so we'll have to rearrange them. So guess what he put me in? Soldier boots with iron in there. You can imagine me, sweet little, pretty little girl, and me have to wear soldier boots. Well, my inventive mother made some long socks with frills on the end, lace, and she would turn down the socks over the boots. I had to wear these boots to school every day when everybody else had on their little T-strap shoes. And I hated it. But guess what? It was adjusting those 4 bones on the side. So I now had 2 ankles. And everything came up straight, so that when you look, it was only one little bump on the inside, and it was 1 ankle on each foot. I said, thank you, Lord, for chiropodists. Well, when I went for my last visit, the doctor said, excuse me, but I've done all I can. Now she has got to see if she can develop some arches. Because when I did the test, they put you on a sort of blotting paper where you either wet your feet or you want to die, and then you step on the blotting paper and the imprint of your feet came out. Well, honey, when I did that, I had the two sides them straight, so boom, no arch, no little, indentation on the inside of the foot. And he says, the only way you're going to get those arches developed is the best way is to go and study classical ballet. Because you have to point your toe and flex your foot and develop those muscles in the arch. Well, that was another challenge. So I will tell you about the continuation of how I went to study classical ballet and develop the arch in my foot. That was the objective, but it ended up having me become a dancer, which is my passion. We got another program on that. I'm a liturgical dancer, and I just love to dance morning, noon, and night. That's why I'm always dancing when I'm sitting down, standing up, doing anything, right? But guess what? What is the point here? The point here is out of your greatest disadvantage comes your best advantage. It is out of the problems and the challenges and the negative, so-called negative circumstances that face you that will come your best whatever. But you're going to just really, expand in that particular area, right? So as you know, chatting is my main activity in life, but I still have a lot of way to go in getting the words together. But that's all right. The most important thing is that we communicate. Don't look at yourself and say, well, I don't speak right. I can't do this. The most important thing is that you learn to communicate. And I'm sure you're getting the message that I'm giving you. All right? So that's what God does. He created us with a perfect end. And our spirits that He put in us, which is His spirit that He put in us, makes us perfect. So we need to understand that we, in our spirit realm, which is our essence, our real person, I am a spirit. I just live in this body. And I have a soul, and my soul is a psychological area. My soul is made up of my emotions that I have with myself and my relationships that I have with others. And the others that I have the relationship with are, first of all, my creator, then myself, then my family, then my calling, or what I was made for. That should be synonymous with your career, your job, and what you do to sustain life. So make sure you get that together. After that now, the next relationship is the one with your church or your philosophy of life or those who you have the same way of life with. It's called your spiritual family. After that, then you have your community, your physical community around you. You got to relate to them. You got neighbors, however close or however far, or however obnoxious. If they're the ones who always burn garbage next door when you have your white sheet on the line, you've got to relate to them. After that, we have our nation. And everybody has a contribution to make to the nation. Then we have our world. We are all citizens of a world. And guess what? Every single one of us contribute to all of those relationships on a daily basis, whether we do something or we do nothing. Because what you do affects the whole world. What you do not do affects the whole world. But that is going to be the subject of one of our nighttime talks, when we're going to discuss your impact on your family, on your spiritual family, on your neighborhood, on your nation, and on the world. Because we all impacted, even if we sit down as a hermit and don't do nothing and speak to nobody, we are still impacting it. So we need to understand that and see how we can make that impact positive and how all our interactions can be symbiotic. You know what that means? It means that sim, to all of us are in the same place, and what I do affects you positively, and what you do affects me positively. It is a concept of the win-win situation, and that those are the situations that I keep myself in. Every situation I'm in is a win-win. I'm not into a win-lose situation. I must win and you must win. And we need to develop a culture as human beings that we learn how to go into these situations. We learn how to change what we might think is a losing situation into a winning situation. Well, let's look at my four uncles. If that wasn't a losing situation, and the soldier boot them, if that wasn't a losing situation, that was eventually turned around into a winning situation, where I eventually ended up dancing all over the world, performing before royalty, believe it or not. And I'm still going more because I plan. I haven't danced in Africa. I haven't danced in Australia and one other continent. I don't remember which one, but all the others I have visited and danced into. It don't mean that I had a show. It means that I go and dance on the streets. I'm walking along and say, well, here am I in a new country. Skip, 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 do a pirouette and a cartwheel and move on. I've danced all over the world. Okay, so let's move back to Shabbat. So you understand what Shabbat is about? It is celebrating God's creation, God's creative force. And it is just backing off of the work, and all the activity that we are engaged in and just cooling out and just looking back, reflecting, just thanking God and worshiping Him for who He is, this great creator who has created me with so much. And as much as I have, I can still get more because I have access to His unlimited, that God has a lot of different names. And which is my favorite name? It's called El Shaddai. Some people translate that as Almighty, all powerful God. But I went back into the Hebrew and looked at the original meaning of El Shaddai. It means the many-breasted God. And I am a sort of person who I love to draw things. I sketch a lot of things. Never did an art class, but I like to sketch things so that I can understand it. So I sketched a form, an outline of a form, and because it said many-breasted, I put 4 breasts on the front. But I said 4 is not many. So I drew breasts all over the form, hanging from the face, from the front of the body, down the hands, down the other hands, down the front, and I did the same thing on the back. So I had hundreds of breasts just hanging down from all over this so-called many-breasted God. And then I thought about the reason for breasts. And I said, breast is what suckles the young and gives every single thing that you need. Because you know what happens when you have a breastfed baby? Let them get everything, all the immunity, everything that they need, just from the breast milk. We went to do another program on breast milk. But back to my many-breasted God. I said, no, if I put all these hundreds of breasts on my God, that anything I want now, I just lock on to one of them. So if I want peace, I suck this breast. If I want joy, I suck this breast. If I have a problem, I need a solution, I suck this breast. You understand what I'm saying? No, this may not work for you, but guess what? It worked for me. So that I have all the solutions to all the problems and all the challenges in my life. I just go suck the breast that is related. And I will get everything I need for life and godliness. So maybe you can come up with your own little analogy, or maybe you can just draw one like what I draw. And know that you can go to God with every situation. He made you. He knows what is wrong. He knows every challenge. And then you'll be able to really celebrate Shabbat with me. Mr. Producer, I hope I'm doing on halfway yet, because I want to do the other half with the Shalom part. So just half. Wonderful. All right. So here we have the half. So I think you understand Shabbat now? You should understand Shabbat, Sabbath, Saturday, and it's not really Saturday. It's from nightfall or sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday. Because guess what? I think we are in the year 50, 57, 74. I think that's the year we are in the real calendar, not the one that we use with 19, what, 2030, 13, that's where they say we are. But the real calendar says we are in 57, 74, and if I'm wrong, then I will correct it tomorrow. But our day starts from 6 sunset on Friday or our Shabbat to sunset on Saturday, right? So here, I think you understand the Shabbat now, or the Sabbath, because it is that time when we just worship God in every area of our life. We don't do anything that with the objective of bringing in money, right? Everything we do is the same stuff we do otherwise, but we back off of the grind and we just chill, worship, thank God. We just sort of in His presence, we just celebrate. I really enjoy my Shabbat. I mean, I move from, I just can't explain it. But it's like I sit down like the cat who stole the milk, and I just always smiling, and then I'm just always like playing around in milk and just having a wonderful time. So I think you understand the Shabbat now. Let's go on to the other part. Now, usually we greet people with Shalom, Shabbat. But that greeting can also extend to every area of your life. And instead of saying hello, hi, good morning, good evening, I am going to suggest that you use Shalom for your greetings, for your goodbyes, for your openings, for your closings. And when I finish explaining to you what it means, then you will want to do it, because you will want to not only have that for yourself, but project and give that to others around. Because remember the first law, the first and most important, and incidentally, the only law that I obey is number 1. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy might and strength. So that means you must love Him with all your spiritual side, your spirit, who you are, all your soul, which is your emotions and your relationships, and all your body, which is your strength and your vigor. God, you must use it for your country, as we did in our pledge yesterday, and you're going to use it to glorify God and to benefit yourself and your neighbors. That's how it works, So you don't have to sit down and think of the 600 and odd laws that are contained in the Jewish lifestyle. Guess what? When I was studying Hebrew and Greek, I went and got a book called The Jewish Book of Why. One thick book, and it goes in there. It has hundreds of rules and regulations as to how you should carry out the Sabbath. My dear, listen to this one. When you sit on the toilet in the Sabbath, you cannot break off the toilet paper. So on the Sabbath, before the Sabbath, you break off however many squares you need, and you pack them in a little pile beside the toilets. And so when you go in on the Sabbath, you take up one and you use it, because you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath. You're not supposed to tear off toilet paper. The other thing was this: when I was in Israel and on the Shabbat, every time I'm coming down on the elevator, they have what is called a Shabbat elevator. And that one does not, it stop on every floor. So when you're coming down from the 15th floor, you stand up in there and it's top on every floor. Why? Because you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath. And if you take up your hand and press the button, it is work. So that is how the elevators in Israel are. Can you believe that? So of course, every time we're coming down and we are in a hurry, we make sure we're not taking the Shabbat elevator. We have to take the other one. And in some places, all they have is one elevator. And on Shabbat, so it runs. So this little book, it has in hundreds of rules like that. What you can do, what you can't do. And listen to me, that just confused me. So guess what? I just say, God, what is the best rule? He says you have one. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is just as important. Love your neighbor as yourself. But guess what? You can't bother with the second one. Because if you do the first one and just concentrate on the first one, then everything will run right. As we say, copacetic. Right? So just cease and settle. Cease and settle. Hey, hey. Or sometimes one of my Israeli students, friends, the other day, and he was telling me about the similarity between a lot of Jamaican patois words to the original Hebrew, and the fact that second don't have to do, didn't come from set, S-E-T-T-L-E. It came from second, which is a Hebrew word meaning the person who have power over you. You must back off and recognize that they are the ones who can affect you. And so you need to just settle if you want them not to have any power over you. Right? So another program, why don't we going to be talking all night on our night talk shows, because we have so much to share with you at reggae.com, where we embrace everything Jamaican and everything that Jamaica has to advance the welfare of the whole human race. So back to Shabbat now. We did Shabbat. Back to Shalom. What does Shalom mean? It means everything in perfect, upright order. Nothing broken, nothing missing. Wouldn't you like to live your life like that? Isn't that what you wish on yourself? And isn't that what you wish on others? Shalom. That's what I wish for myself. Shalom. That's what I wish for you. And that's what we should wish for ourselves and for others. Because it is when we love ourselves as we are supposed to love others that we can love others as we love ourselves. So, who is the chicken and who is the egg? I'm going to tell you who is the chicken. The chicken is loving God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then the egg will be loving yourself the way God loves you, unconditionally, no matter whether you're good, you're bad, you're rich, you're poor, you're challenged or not. His love never changes. And so that is the egg that he gives you. And you gotta value it. You gotta hold it close to you. You have to allow nobody to come in and break it. Because I'm here to tell you, everybody want to break my egg. Right? And I'm here to tell you, nobody get near it. Unless I give it away. And then when I give it away, I am giving away the way I love myself. Because of God's example. Not because I have anything to love. But because I see the God in me. And I love the God in me. I'm not going to love the bad in me. Why should I want to love it? Why should I want to talk about it? And therefore, I can now give that away to others and love others. I don't care what you do, how you stay, whether you are lovable or not. That's not the issue. The issue is God sees everything bad in me, but he still loves me and it does not affect how he treats me. And because I embrace that, then I can give it to others. So, for those who love to criticize me and move me, I love you, honey. You can't make me not love you, because guess what? When you let other persons determine how you respond, they have power over you. You have given them power. And that's another program that we will do on how we take back our power from those around us. The only person you must give your power to is your creator. Why? Because he knows what is best for you and he wants what is best for you. And he will use that power always in for your own benefit and in your own for your own benefit, right? So let's understand shalom. I speak it over myself constantly. Every time something goes wrong, I speak the shalom blessing to myself. That's another one that we use. They say, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and grant you his peace. Grant you his shalom." That shalom means that he wants everything to be in perfect, upright order. He wants to provide you with everything so that there is nothing missing. And he wants to fix everything so that there is nothing broken. So that's the meaning for shalom. And you must speak it over yourself every day, especially as you face negative situations. The car broke down, speak the shalom over yourself. And the light will come. Somebody will just come riding along, say, "May I fix your tire for you?" And cut off your tire, take it to the place, fix it, pay for it, and says, "I'm bringing it back to you." That's what happens when you speak the shalom blessing. Because anytime that does not happen, it means that you're not getting it fixed. Is going to lead you into a situation that is going to benefit you down the road and benefit others down the road. So remember this, when you speak that shalom blessing over yourself, you either have immediate fixing of the situation or you have another situation exist that is going to lead to the immediate fixing of another situation. So hear what I say, I don't mean that everything is going to be fixed immediately, but your creator knows that if he keeps you in that situation, then it's going to precipitate a cure for something else. So whether we live or we die, whether we up or we down, regardless of what happens to me, my shalom blessing is always active. And when you have that in your mind, then why are you going to get upset about your present circumstances? It don't make any sense. It makes no sense. If you know that your creator has in mind what is best for you, then you just know, cool, man. You just cool. And you know that. So that's how we need to celebrate our Shabbats. Shalom Shabbat. And I'm going to speak that blessing over you at the end of the program again. And I want to encourage you guys to write in or email in for your Jamaican map, which is our motto, anthem, and pledge. We are encouraging everybody to pray them, read them, say them, and act them out on a daily basis. And then I will tell you some more as we go along about this. This is my band. It says "I Promise" on the front, and it has a Jamaican flag here, and it says to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. This is my pledge band. I sleep in it, I eat in it, I bathe in it, I never take it off, right? Because I promise to hold the pledge of my country, whether I'm sleeping or awaking, right? And I'm going to have on the show the author of this book coming up, Dr. John Keane. He is the one who wrote this book and has this movement of moving our people from wherever they are, whatever area of influence they are in, into the place where they can really carry out the pledge, be the embodiment of the pledge, and show others, not just in Jamaica, but worldwide, What a fantastic life you would have if you would just keep to every phrase that is in the pledge. But you can't do it by yourself because what this pledge requires of you is impossible. Right? There's no way I can be right all the time and good all the time and kind all the time and just all the time. It just can't be done by myself. I don't have the ability. So I encourage you to speak the shalom blessing over yourself and also to get to the place where you recognize that you are a Jamaican. I am a Jamaican. That is Jamicon. And I hope my friend no vex for using his coinage. But I am a Jamaican. You are a Jamaican. You are an icon. You have been created for purpose, for an eternal purpose of carrying out something that only you can do. This morning I had a client for a consultation. I was sharing with him. I said, do you know that what you are created for cannot be done by anybody else? And it will come to pass whether you patch into it or not. That's a concept we're going to talk about at another show. I think I have about 150 shows lined up already. But the issue is this. I was made for purpose. I was made as a solution to a purpose, to a problem or a challenge. I was made as a solution to a challenge or a problem. You were made as the solution to a specific set of challenges and problems. The only way you are going to live out your destiny is to patch in to your creator. So I'm going to go off Shalom, Shabbat. Okay, it's not time to go off yet, but I want you to understand that you are made for purpose and for eternity, where the only way you can fulfill your purpose is to just line yourself up with what God put into your head as dreams and visions. Remember, dreams and visions are your directive to where you need to go. You need to always remember that. I was so distracted. Anyway, remember that your dreams and visions are your directive as to what God intended for you to do here on this earth. And all of us, it doesn't matter where we are, physically or mentally challenged, we have a purpose and we can walk in that purpose. One day I'm going to do my psychometric test called the Genius Analysis on air so that all of you can come and analyze your own geniuses and find out what you are really made for and what you were created for, and then how to discover and develop the genius that is in you, and also how to be able to do the same for those who are around you. That way, you are able to not just look at yourself, find your geniuses, and start to walk in them, but you will also be a catalyst for doing the same for your family, for your community, for your school. And this is especially important for people who are caregivers, for parents, for teachers, for supervisors. You know, if you are able to see the genius in the people you interact with, then you are able to use that genius in the process of moving whatever your objective is forward. Because if you understand that in a school system, for instance, only 3% have what is called the verbal linguistic genius, which is like academia. Okay, 3%, can you imagine? If you have 100 people in your class, only 3 of them have the academic genius, and you're still trying to get the whole class to be academic geniuses. It's not going to work, right? So you need to understand as a teacher all the different geniuses and the percentages that exist in the world, so that you can now pick the academic geniuses out to do the academic type of work, but you pick out the other geniuses to do the application to different areas of the principle that you're teaching in an academic form. And that's why most people don't get together at school. They don't get it. Because if you have somebody from the class and they have ADD, that's because they are not into the verbal linguistic. They are into the creative side of things. And they cannot learn sitting at a desk. Only the academics can learn sitting at a desk, because they are the researchers. They are the ones who like to read, like to write, and that is how they communicate. Verbal linguistic. We have the others who communicate all sorts of different ways. Like me, I communicate by dance. That's how I communicate. And so I will be one of the biggest ADD in front of the class, right? So if you find that you are not able to sit and concentrate, then you need to find out what is your genius. How can you use your genius to advance the learning process on subjects that you do not like or that you find difficult to concentrate on? And it's possible. It's all called transference of the learning process from what you like to what you don't like. And in 2 tools, you'll find that all of them easy. So when you look at this another time. But all of this is to tell you how wonderfully we are created. And this is what you have to sit down and think about on Shabbat. Because you sit down and you think, oh my goodness, can you believe I'm using 5% of my brain space and my capabilities? What happens if I move it up a notch to 10%? I'll be doubling what I'm doing now. What if you move it up to 50%? About 20 years ago, I felt I was operating on 50%, not because I was doing it, but because I allowed the input into 50% of my activities of the creative force. There were certain things I said, we can't do this, so I'm going to do it. So I just only allowed my creator to come in on the things that I felt I was short in. But the things that I felt I was good at, I do it myself. Well, guess what? I don't operate that way anymore, right? About, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, I decided, I said, you know something, why should I operate on my own fuel if I can operate on God's fuel? You know what God's fuel is? His word. If I can operate on God's fuel, then I will operate at 100%. When I started that experiment, so if you see me running around like the bunny, the Energizer bunny, I'm going to have to get some credit for this advertisement. If you see me running around like the Energizer bunny, it means that I'm operating on the 100% fuel. That is why I can promise you 100% success on anything that you attempt once you're operating on the fuel. Because you must get 100% reversal of your condition or advancement of what you want to do. If you're operating 100% on somebody else's fuel, the fuel of your creative, the word that he has given you, the word that has creative force, you speak and that word comes into being. That's how we were made. And that's what we want to reflect on Shabbat. The shalom of the Shabbat. So when you say Shalom Shabbat on Sabbath, or you say Happy Sabbath, that is what you're wishing for somebody else. That they would sit back and reflect on the goodness of God, on the fabulous and wonderful creation. Man, you ever sit down and look on a flower or an animal or something and say, boy, this is fabulous. Well, guess what? Man is the ultimate creation. God left his best for the last. And that is why he created us on the last day of creation. And then he sits back and he says, wow, this is very good. Now let's see how I can transfer to them the creativity, the power and the authority that they need to carry this out. And all he needs to do is just patch into his fuel. Because if you use your own, you're going to sputter, and then you're going to run out, and all sorts of things will happen. But learning to patch in to this fuel is going to be the subject of another program. So today, let's continue in this program as we draw closer and closer to the end. Shabbat Shalom. Let's sit back and rest and just muse on all that we have and all that we are, so that we can bring them into the ultimate Shalom, which is bringing everything into perfect upright order. Nothing missing and nothing broken. Where you operate at your ultimate best all the time. Where you get abundance all the time. Where you are in a position to receive abundant health, abundant wealth, provision, prosperity, abundant peace, regardless of the turmoil that is going on outside. You can be at peace in every situation. Abundant love and abundant joy. You know, there's something I forgot to tell you yesterday. Oops. Remember yesterday I had my rag doll with me on the show, and you remember I had on a blue dress look like this? When you're watching the replays, you'll see it. Well, I made a lookalike. Can you see the resemblance? Oh. Yes, I made a lookalike for her. And why I did was that we have a program coming up. It's called International Fashions by Elisa. And on this, you can log in and tell me which of my outfits you'd like to have a replica of. You have a choice of colors. You put in your measurements. You have a form, you know, and then you can have it made, custom made for you. Yesterday, I had on one of my creations, and this is her replica. I don't look exactly like mine, but we're going to be doing that. Every show, we will be showcasing an outfit. And of course, the show before, I had my other friend with me. Whoa! This is my favorite friend. He is called the Lion of the Tribe of Judah, right? But he's called other things as well. But, you know, when you have this friend, you know, you have all the characteristics of a lion available to you. And so that's what we are pulling on in the Shabbat, because we have all the power we need, all the authority we need, all the protection we need. You can imagine this young man protecting you. I am afraid nobody's going to come near, not even the elephant, right? So it don't matter how big it is, no matter how small it is. Shabbat Shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and grant you his peace, his shalom. That shalom which will bring everything into perfect, upright order. Nothing missing, nothing broken. And I want to just a little clarification on that. Remember, you know, we're into situations where this situation is not what is existing. But guess what? We can bring it into that place by coming to the place of total surrender to your Creator. Because when you come there, then you don't have any of your own ideas and your own emotions and your own things blocking the way. You just come open and you say, God, I really want to come to this place of total shalom, where everything is in upright order, where there's nothing missing and there's nothing broken. Not forget yourself and substitute what he has given you to do. how He has directed you to operate. And then you'll be able to experience the outworking of this in your everyday life and your everyday situation. So, patch in with me and start announcing that blessing on yourself, pronouncing it on yourself, using it in every situation, so that it can be a vehicle for bringing you back into perfect, upright order. And I want to just to engage in a little thing right here. Yesterday I mentioned about NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, and this big movement that's pretty old, but has been resurging again. It's called Neuro Linguistic Programming. What does that mean? You use your neuro to program your linguistic. In other words, you use your mind and thoughts to program your mouth. You use your mouth to program your mind. And once you program your mind, then that is going to determine your choices and your decisions. And then that is going to determine what happens, your actions. So I want you to stop talking on the negative. If somebody give you a negative story, don't repeat it. The first thing I do when I start to hear that it's negative, I just walk them and say, gotta go to the bathroom. Excuse me, please, whatever, but I'm not going to allow it to come into my ear gate. But if it comes into your ear gate, then you do not repeat it. What you do is repeat the opposite of it so that you are able to push it out of your consciousness, right? Only speak what you want, because in the final analysis, you shall have what you say. Remember, as we go, life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall reap the fruit of it. That means if you speak negative, you're going to get negative. If you speak positive, you're going to get positive. If you speak excellence, you're going to get excellence. So let's speak as we go. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Today I say, shalom, Shabbat.
You see the mission that they gave you was just to deceive you. Don't tell me that you won't lie. Don't let the devil fool you.